Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm gonna show you how I took a Resin bath caddy and turned it into a teacher's desktop organizer using the NMO back to school bundle. Stick with me. I'm gonna show you how I did this. Let's go. First things first, I was perusing through HomeGoods and I saw this little bathroom caddy right here sitting in the clearance aisle. I picked it up and I looked at it. It was really cute. I said I could probably do something with some vinyl on here, maybe some epoxy, maybe paint something, maybe ink it. I don't know. I know I can do something with it and I can repurpose it for a desk organizer. I immediately thought of marker, crayon, pencil, all kinds of things that could go in here and show them on the face of the caddy. This is gonna make for a great teacher's gift. This year, my son will be the teacher's pet. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at what we are working with here. I'm gonna take him out of this little caddy guy. I'm gonna get all the stickers off. I'm just gonna go ahead and it's a straight cut. I don't need to trace this or put it through my silhouette machine. I'm gonna line it up from side and bottom, make a little crease, making sure that when I flip this guy over, all I gotta do is just make a couple ticks on there and then we're good to start slicing. As you can see, I'm using my pin just to make my little marks so that they stand out when I slide it through. Line it up and give it a good chop. I have about 3 of these guys, so just FYI, these are really good to keep handy. They make simple cuts. I can't cut a straight line to save my life, so I rely on these guys a lot for my crafts and my cutting purposes. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna take my transfer tape. This transfer tape comes on a roll. It's not very aggressive. It's not like shelf liner to where it's gonna leave a greasy residue. It's not gonna tear your vinyl, but I'm just going to transfer this on using a simple transfer tape magic. Match it on up. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And if I hang over the edge, we can always just trim it off with a razor. No big deal. I will say that I gave myself probably a hair space between the wood and the vinyl. So instead of making it like exactly the same cut, I kind of measured a little bit less than the actual cut, or size should I say. So that way the epoxy can hold on to the wood and seal your vinyl in. Use your popsicle stick to pull out any air that may be caught underneath. You want this to be super smooth. And I would say we're done with our first one. That was pretty painless. All right, we can keep going. All right, I think we did that one perfectly the first time. Let's see if we can make this happen again. All right, how do I want my pencils to face? Where do I want them to be pointing? Let's see, I think we're gonna go with up. Perfect. Okay, same kind of measurement, making my ticks and cutting. Some people are probably gonna ask me, hey, why didn't you sand? This isn't gonna get a lot of traffic, you know, like this is not like a tumbler where it's gonna get handled a lot. It's gonna sit on somebody's desk. It's gonna house pencils and scissors and probably not gonna get a whole lot of action. So I didn't bother sanding it. I'm gonna repeat these steps for all 4 of my caddies. One of them has a lid on there, I will say, so I'm gonna have to make sure that I measure that one just a little bit differently, but it's the same kind of technique. We're just gonna repeat all these steps. When you are removing your transfer tape, I will say that you have to pull parallel. I always wanna pull up, and that will pull the corners of your vinyl up and ruin your vinyl. So try to make sure when you are pulling your vinyl off, you're staying parallel to the vinyl. Also, I wasn't sure about my composition notebook sticker. I wasn't sure if it was gonna fit, but I shot from the hip like I usually do in life, and we came out winners. So now that we have all 4 of our blocks vinyled up, I wanna go ahead and I wanna take my razor blade and I'm gonna trim these edges just to make sure that we are not creeping over the side. It's nice and flush, nice and center, and our UV resin has something to grab onto. So now comes the UV resin part. With a gloved hand, put on just a smidge. You just want to get a first layer down. It doesn't have to be too thick. You don't want it to run over the sides. You can always add more. Once the waterfall happens, it's done, and you're gonna have a drippy mess and it's gonna stain the wood. So don't worry about slathering it on just yet. We just want to get our first layer down, and just a thin layer will do. I have a lot of sunlight right out of my studio, so all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put these out in the sun, let them bake, and have Mother Nature do the rest. All right, after about 30 minutes, I went out into the sun, grabbed these bad boys, brought them in. I am super happy with the way they turned out. Let's make sure that these guys are not too thick and I don't have to sand them down. We want them to fit inside this caddy. I will say this was a really fun and super easy way to jazz up something that you kind of have to think outside the box for. I think it's perfect. I think it's the best teacher's gift ever. I'm not a teacher, but I kind of want to keep this for myself because it's super cute. But I think this would make a phenomenal gift for your child's teacher. That's a wrap.